September 1811. A post-chaise drew up before Aswarby Hall, deep in the heart of Lincolnshire. The boy who stepped out was only 11 years old. His name was Stephen Elliott, and 6 months ago he'd lost everything. His parents were dead. He had no home, no family.
But then, unexpectedly, a letter had arrived. His distant cousin, a man named Mr. Abney, a man Stephen had never met, had offered to take him in. It seemed like an act of extraordinary kindness.
But as Stephen stood before the towering Victorian mansion, something felt wrong. The house was beautiful, certainly. Red brick, classical architecture, windows gleaming in the evening light. But there was a melancholy to it, the kind of sadness you feel in autumn when you realize summer is truly gone.
And Stephen couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. "How are you, my boy? How old are you?"
Stephen answered politely. He was 11, nearly 12.
"And when is your birthday, my dear boy?"
"September 11th, sir."
Mr. Abney's eyes lit up. "Ah, so you'll be 12 years old on March 24th, nearly a year from now?" Something about the way he said it made Stephen uneasy. And then Mr. Abney asked again, and again. 5 times in the first 10 minutes, he asked about Stephen's birthday.
"I like to get these things down in my books," Mr. Abney explained, smiling. But his smile didn't reach his eyes.
Stephen didn't know it yet, but that date, March 24th, 1812, had been marked in Mr. Abney's journal for nearly 7 years. It wasn't a birthday, it was a deadline.
Over the weeks that followed, Stephen settled into life at Aswarby Hall. The person he grew closest to was Mrs. Bunch, the housekeeper. She'd worked there for 20 years. She knew everything about the house. One November evening, Stephen asked her a question. "Is Mr. Abney a good man?"
Mrs. Bunch smiled. "Bless you, child. Master is as kind a soul as ever I saw. Why, didn't I tell you about the 2 children he took in?"
"Is Mr. Abney a good man?"
"Well," Mrs. Bunch began, "7 years ago, Master brought home a little gypsy girl, Phoebe, her name was. Poor thing had no family. Master gave orders she should be cared for. She lived here for 3 weeks, and then one morning she was just gone, vanished from her bed before dawn. Master had all the ponds dragged, but we never have found a trace.
I believe the gypsies took her back, Mrs. Bunch said, though she didn't sound convinced. There was singing around the house all that night.
And the other child?
Oh, that poor boy. Italian lad named Giovanni. Came round playing his hurdy-gurdy in the winter. Master brought him inside, asked all sorts of questions. Where he came from, how old he was, did he have family? Kind as can be. But 2 weeks later, he was gone too. Vanished just like the girl. Didn't even take his instrument. It's still here, gathering dust.
Stephen stared into the fire. Mrs. Bunch thought for a moment. March it was. 7 years. Stephen's blood ran cold. 7 years. That night, Stephen had a dream. At least, he thought it was a dream. He found himself standing in the upstairs corridor, looking toward the old bathroom. It had been locked for years. No one used it anymore. But the upper half of the door was made of glass, and the curtains had long since been removed. In the moonlight, Stephen could see inside. There was someone in the bathtub. He moved closer, drawn by a terrible curiosity. The moonlight fell directly on the figure, and Stephen saw it clearly. It was a corpse. Impossibly thin, like something that had been preserved for centuries. The skin was dusty gray, stretched tight over the bones. A burial shroud wrapped around the body. The hands were pressed over the chest, as if protecting the heart. And the face. The lips were pulled back in a smile. The kind of smile that comes from dying in terror. As Stephen stared, the mouth opened. A moan, distant, almost inaudible, escaped the withered lips, and the arms began to move. The shock jolted Stephen backward, and he woke up. But he wasn't in bed. He was actually standing in the corridor, barefoot, freezing, in the full light of the moon. He hadn't been dreaming at all. With courage that surprises me even now, Stephen walked to the bathroom door. His hand was shaking as he turned the handle. The bathtub was Stephen didn't know it yet,
But there was a pattern. March 24th. Always March 24th. And his 12th birthday was exactly 1 year away. What Stephen saw next